I think
Oh,
so.
here's the live button.
Here we are. We are live. Hey everyone, how are you? This is Ashley Sinclair, and I am with one of my most favorite people in the whole world, and her newest most favorite person in the world. I'm with Alicia Gegg, Ambassador Diamond. How are
Hey,
you, Alicia?
everybody. I'm good. How are
Why
you?
don't you show off a tiny bit of that beautiful little baby there? Look at her. Just little perfection. Oh my gosh, look at her.
You
Oh
just
my
fell
gosh.
asleep.
Oh
So
my
hopefully
gosh.
we continue rocking up and down tonight, but hopefully we're not too distracting.
Oh no, I think you probably got a lot of moms on here, so we're all good. But I am really excited about doing this with you. Like I mentioned, first of all, you're just one of my favorite people ever, so that's fun. Not very many people can make me laugh like you do, so that's a good thing. But,
Likewise.
but also, you guys, excuse me, I am getting over, I'm just going to call it the cruiseness, just from coming off of the cruise. Just I don't know if you guys have it, just the junk. I also feel like my computer screen is swaying, and so yeah, which is making me a little bit nauseous. So it's gonna be, y'all are getting me at my absolute best, let me tell you. I rolled out of bed about 12 minutes ago. I'm not gonna lie. I've been working from bed all day. So, all right. So here's the thing. Alicia has an amazing story. Everybody has an amazing story. I know that. But I really, really, really love Alicia's story. And I think as she shares hers and I share a little bit of mine, I think you're going to see how many awesome different ways there are to work this business. So Alicia, I would love to hear from you just, how you came into the business, maybe why you came into the business, and just kind of those beginning days and getting started for you.
Awesome. Yes. Thanks everybody for hopping on tonight and joining us for the Tips from the Top series. I'm Alicia Gegg, like Ashley mentioned. And Ashley, I got to say, whenever we got paired to do this, I was so excited because, there's so many things that are similar with our stories. We both got started back in 2011.
Yeah.
And there's so many other things that are, just complete polar opposites. So I'm glad that we got to be paired together to really broadcast that and let everybody know that there's so many different types of ways to get to ambassador. So I'm excited to share my story. Like I mentioned, I got started back in 2011, March of 2011. So I'm a mom of 3 now, just had Landry, 6 weeks. She'll be 6 weeks tomorrow.
You look insane. Like seriously, I can't take it.
Oh gosh.
I'm pretty sure I look 6 weeks postpartum right now. Like I look like I had the baby.
Stop. Gosh. So yeah, I was approached right after I had my first daughter. So she's going to be 6 in January. And I saw, like probably many of the people that are out there watching tonight, I saw before and after picture on Facebook. And I was an esthetician, so I did skincare, I did body reps, and I was trained to do these things. So I didn't really believe it when I saw it on Facebook, and I kind of just laughed at it and just let it go. But it still intrigued me because I had just had Allie, and being a new mom, like you just want to get that pre-body back. So she approached me, I guess it was after I had seen the before and after picture. She approached me and sent me a message, and I'm like, no, I just had a baby. I'm so busy. I don't have time for this. I'm trying to build a clientele in my salon, so I just don't have time for this. And I had got it was probably 3 times that she had messaged me and just kind of approached me or talked to me about the business and making some extra money. And every time I had said, no, don't have the time. I'm busy. Money is super tight. And that's the thing. While this is all going down, here we are. Like I can remember our old house, and I can remember being in such a tight spot financially and just wanting to make ends meet. And I can remember the bills piling up. I had a stack of bills. I can remember exactly where it was in our kitchen in our other house, of just bills that we couldn't pay. And I remember that on the envelopes, they had like the red stamp on it. And you knew the red stamp was always bad.
Yeah.
And I never opened them because I thought at that point, well, if I don't open them, I'm not really addressing the situation. It's not real if I don't really look at it. I remember just, all of those bills, we just couldn't afford to pay everything. So Here we were just trying and praying for something to come into our life, never thinking that it was going to be like a black and green company with a body wrap. So the fourth time, actually, let me rewind real quick. So while this is all going on, it was even to the point where grocery store trips were just so stressful to me. I hated going to the grocery store because, you want to get everything that you need for your daughter and for your family. And I remember having to go to the checkout line, and when you get to that checkout line, you got to swipe your debit card. And I remember having to like say a little prayer after I swiped my debit card, like, oh, please, like just let it say accepted come across the screen. Because if it says declined, what is going to be my excuse this time? So I just hated the stress. And, it was causing just so much stress between me and my husband, and I hated it. So we were praying for something to happen. So after declining to join as a distributor 3 times, I was approached a 4th time. And I remember getting the phone call. I remember seeing her name come across my screen on my phone, and something just came across me, and I got this peace about it. And honestly, like I felt like I had a hand like just pushing me on my back, like, Alicia, just do this. Just take this leap of faith and just do this, because, this is very well going to be the answer to your prayers. It was $200, when we got started. We didn't have $200 to do this, but we had just got an income tax return, coincidentally enough. So I did it, and honestly, I've never looked back. Number one, I'd never tried the wrap. Even to that day, and I never tried it. I didn't know I was getting into network marketing, but I just had that urge to take the leap of faith, and I had a peace about it. So, I just went with it, and it was the best decision. We just wanted the extra $300 to $500 a month to help pay for groceries, to help pay for diapers, to buy girl clothes, because I had my daughter, and I ended up promoting quickly at that point to Diamond, and promoted quickly to Double Diamond. And
then what happened? What happened? Because I met you, when I met you, I think you were about to be a Diamond. When did you go Diamond?
I went Diamond in 4 months, and I went Double in 6.
So I think you must have been a Diamond or a Double when I met you.
I think I was a Double, yes, because I met you at Green Carpet, I think. Yeah. And we were a Double at that point. So after going Double, I'll kind of talk a little bit about, because there are obstacles that come along in this business. And one of my obstacles was when I went Double Diamond. I sat at Double Diamond for 2 years. So after that.
What do you think? But let's talk about that, because that's a lot of people's story. So What do you think it was that held you back? Because if we can talk about that, then I think that's part of what helps us become better leaders, because we can recognize it in other people, maybe what's going on or what they're struggling through. Because what kept you there for so long? Because you had upline support, you had other people around you doing amazing. You had what we would call an elephant leg. You had a really strong leg that was already taken care of, that was doing the work. What was it, do you feel like, that maybe kept you from pushing past Double Diamond?
Myself, 100%. It was myself. It was my head. Whenever I got to Double, it was right around the time that you and a couple of other leaders had joined. And I felt at that point like everybody was just promoting so much quicker than what I thought I was capable of at that point. And instead of paying attention to actually like working my own business, I got stuck paying attention to what everybody else was doing. I got stuck on Facebook. I got stuck paying attention and trying to be somebody else when I wasn't just being myself. I wasn't running the business like I had, in the beginning. When in the beginning, I was, like I said, I was an esthetician. I was doing facials. I was working my business at every point of free time that I had. I would be doing facials, and after I got the massage done, I had about 30 seconds to a minute before I put a mask on and went on to the next step, I had my phone out and I was answering messages at that point. You know, after I put my daughter down for bed at night, I was working my business to 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I was working it at any time that I could, any free time. But once I got into my own head, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing what was working and started paying attention to everybody else. I scrolled through Facebook to see what everybody else was doing. And it screwed me up for 2 years. Finally, I went to, it would have been my third conference. I went to it as a double diamond. And as I sat there as my third double diamond, third conference as a double, I said, I'm not coming back a fourth as a double diamond. And something just clicked. And it was like, you have got to get back to work. You just have to go back and you have to talk to people again. You have to have wrap parties again. And I went triple in 2 months after that and presidential a month after that one.
Oh my gosh. And you know, what's so funny is I remember that year, and it was like, you had so many of us, you know, leaders that had come in around the same time with you, just cheering you on, because, you know, it's so amazing to me, you know, and you're not on my team. God, I wish you were, but you're not on my team. But you know, I saw it. I saw you holding yourself back because, you know, from the outside looking in, I see this, you know, beautiful woman with a beautiful family, that's got a sharp brain and a smart business sense, and that seemed to make no excuses in other areas of her life. And yet you could see yourself, you could see you holding you back. So it's interesting that you say that, even from an outside perspective and somebody that, you know, isn't on your team. I saw it. And so many of us, I think, were rooting for you, and continue to root for you, but definitely we're rooting for you because we saw, you know, what you didn't see, I think, maybe in yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, and I say it a lot, your mind can be your very best friend, or it can be your biggest enemy. You have to choose to use it wisely, and you have to just, you have got to get the negativity out of your head. You have to just continue to work this business and just stick with it. And I think if I would have continued to, you know, just be in my own way, because I truly think that that's what happened, is I just got in my own way. I could still be at double diamond today, but I just decided to get over myself, you know, and get out there and work it.
Yeah. So when you, you know, I had written down, I wanted to ask, like, what have you overcome that you're the most proud of? And is that what you would say is your own stinking mindset?
Sure. Yeah. And, you know, I would lie to say that I don't sit here today with still doubts in my head about certain things, because I think it's just natural. I think it's human. But where I've come today from where I was 5 years ago, from where I was 3 years ago, I'm a completely different person. I'm a different leader, and I'm a different distributor. I'm a different business person from where I was. And it's because I got over myself. It's because I got out of my own way. I was holding myself back.
I love that. I love that. I love your story. And so you went pres, and then where are we up to? Are we up to 2014? Right?
Yeah. So this is 2014. Gosh, we've been in for so long, I feel like.
We feel like old ladies in this business, right?
I kind of refer to ourselves as senior citizens.
We are. I feel like a senior citizen, yeah.
So yeah, this was 2014.
Yeah. You went pres. And then you went ambassador a year after that, right?
Yeah, so I went ambassador almost to my 4.5-year mark. And I had a little bit of the whole mind game, mind tricks at presidential. I want to touch base on that a little bit too, because I think some people might relate to that. But so when I first got started, when I was sitting as a double diamond, there were so many leaders, you know, that were coming in and were promoting quickly, and so many leaders that I aspired to be like, so many that I just looked up to so much. And these leaders were ambassadors at that point. So when I got to presidential, I saw myself as a presidential, and then there were the elite group of ambassadors. And that's where my head got in the way. They're like, well, they're here and you're right here. So you're looking up to them. You want to be like them. You can't be a part of that group. You can't be an ambassador. That's what I would tell myself. And I told myself that for probably 6 or 8 months. And I was just like, I'm not good enough. I don't feel like I'm good enough to be a part of them, because that's who I want to be like, almost. So Finally, last March, I decided, okay, no, why not me? Why am I not good enough? If I'm not good enough, I'm telling my team that they're not good enough, and that's not fair to them. Like, I'm depriving them of their goals being an ambassador one day. So I, again, got over myself, and I made the goal to be an ambassador and went June of last year. So.
Aw, that's fantastic. I love it. Well, I love you talking about mindset, because I really feel like that's probably at the root of every single person that's not where they want to be. I would say that there is a version of that exact issue with everybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Whether it's fear of success or fear of failure, I think that so much of it has to do with fear and what we tell our brain, you know, and the story we're telling ourselves. And when we tell ourselves an amazing story, when we tell ourselves what we can be and what we can do, and when we say things like, why not me? It's so funny. I had 3 people, I hope they're on, but 3 different people, even while we were on the boat before I lost all service, every one of them said, just sitting around here and seeing other leaders and talking to so many people, why am I holding myself back? Like, why am I not presidential? Why am I not ambassador? There's no reason why I can't be. You know, Ashley, do you believe I can do it? It's like, of course I do. Come on, you know? And so I think it's that thing that we tell ourselves, though. And I think a lot of it has to do with maybe, I mean, it may even go all the way back to childhood. Who the heck knows? And being told maybe we're not good enough. I have no idea where it comes from, but I know that this business is a personal development course with a compensation plan. I know that. Like, we get paid, we get paid to be a better version of ourselves, and we get paid to get out of our own way. And we get paid to figure out all the crap and lies that we've been telling ourselves probably our whole lives about everything else, you know, too. It's just, this kind of gets pushed to the forefront because it's our business. So I love it. I absolutely love your story. I appreciate you sharing.
Well, thank you. Again, like I said, when we got paired together and we were deciding who we were going to do this with, I was so excited because I love your story too. And one of the things that I tell my team all the time is that success loves speed. And like we talked about it, you were the fastest to go ambassador in this company.
Mm-hmm.
But success also loves somebody that's not going to give up.
Right.
And I tell them that all the time. So I'm anxious and I'm excited to hear your story too. Let's hear your success loves speed story.
Oh yeah. Well, it definitely was fast and furious, but I got into ItWorks in September of 2011. A girl from junior high, her name is Tiffany. She is one of my most favorite people. She messaged me and sent me this really, really, really long Facebook message it was about 743 paragraphs long, to be exact, about this company that she found and about going to this hair show and how, you know, she'd been pulled into this booth and told that there was this $25 fat patch that would make her skinny and she needed to try it. And not just that, but that she needed to sell it. And so she was telling me all about trying it and how it worked. And at the time I owned a women's boutique. So I had a women's boutique for, I guess at that point I'd had it for a little over 7 years. It started when I was 22. And so I'd been through, you know, business cycles and ups and downs and all of that, of building a business from scratch up to a brick and, you know, mortar store. And, but she kept telling me that, you know, I would do great at this because I was a businesswoman and all this stuff. And the main thing that I remember her saying is that there were these women up north that were making $10,000 a month. And I remember thinking, well, are there any women in the South making $10,000 a month? Because that would just be crazy. I would love to meet someone from the South that's actually making $10,000 a month. Because, you know, my extent of network marketing was a friend from college that I felt like every time I saw her name on the screen, she was just wanting me to buy something from her, you know, who was in a network marketing company. And I felt like, you know, I had always thought of it as a pyramid scheme. And always thought of it as, you know, I remember her telling me that the company was founded in 2001. And I was like, oh, you poor thing, you're never going to make any money. Because, I mean, that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And, you know, you have to get in on the ground level, or you've got to be like, you know, the CEO's kid to make any money, right? Like, that's what I thought. And so I deleted the message. I just had zero desire. Even reading it, I was like, oh, poor girl, got in a pyramid scheme. That's so sad for her. But about 2 weeks later, it's hard for me to not share my full story. I do a lot of trainings, and I've kind of dragged this part out a little more, but I'll keep it short and sweet. But basically, after talking with my in-laws and having some good and interesting conversation and funny conversation with them, I just remember asking my mother-in-law, have you ever heard of this fat patch thing that is cold and wet and smells like icy hot? I think is how Tiffany described it, right? It smells like icy hot, and it's cold and it's wet, but it makes you skinny. And I said, have you ever heard of anything like that? And she goes, oh, no, but I want one. And I was like, well, I do too, because, Audrey, my second daughter, was about 3.5 months old at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I just kept thinking, gosh, if something like that works, number one, I want to use it. Number two, my mother-in-law said she'd buy it. So I've at least got one customer. And number three, I think I know other people that would want it. I used to own a women's lingerie store, so I did a lot of bra fittings, and saw a lot of women in their skivvies. And trust me, no woman ever feels 100% about herself there, or most women don't, I should say. And so I always heard those complaints, and so I thought, gosh, if I had something to offer women that if they complained about their stomach or their back fat or whatever, that would be pretty cool. And so I really kind of just tiptoed over and back to that message and thought, gosh, am I doing the right thing? But decided to give Tiffany a call and see what it was all about, and became a distributor that day. You're right. We paid $199. They changed it 16 days after I started. Not that I'm bitter or anything, but all of my distributors got to join for $99, and then they never changed it after that, which I'm so glad. I think it's a great price for people to join their business. But yeah, that really started my journey. And there's the day that you start the business, and there's the day that you really kind of decide that you're going to work the business. And I feel like those are two different days, and a lot of people stay on the first day. They figure out why they're going to start the business, or they have the date that they start the business. Maybe they'll even have a why, but the day that somebody decides to go to work is a totally separate day for most people. And yes, it was for me. So it was 9 days later. So it took me 9 days.
I love this part of your story.
Yeah, it's because it's the truth. That's 9 days into it. I remember I was on my laptop and I was feeding Audrey, and Grace was running around in the living room, pretty much naked. I don't think she had even been fed most of that day, because I'm just one of those amazing moms that you should all aspire to be. But I'm feeding Audrey, and you guys, I was doing my training, and at the time it was like this 14-day thing. Remember, it was like you'd watch a day, and then it would be like a check mark, and it would even send Tiffany a note like, Ashley watched your video. So I felt like, oh my gosh, it's like a defensive driving course. I was so bored, and I'm going through, and I'm like, okay. But then a couple videos in, I was like, okay, so I start taking some notes. Well, I'm into like day 7. And I don't know, I just remember it was a video with Pam. I don't even know what she was talking about. I think she was in a bathroom doing this video. And you guys, I just so vividly and specifically remember thinking that this is it. Like, I'm going to be the girl down south that makes $10,000 a month. Like, there's girls up north, they're already doing it, but I'm going to be the girl down south that's making 10 grand a month. And I remember looking over at Dan and saying, babe, I'm going to make us $1 million. And he was like, that's cool. Could you just make us lunch? Because he was just very like, what, I don't even know what you're doing with your fat patches over here, Sinclair, but like, could you just make us lunch? Just like feed your daughter over here. That'd be great. So, but it was that vivid to me, you guys. It was that much of a change, that drastically, that quickly. And I remember getting on the phone. I had no idea what I was doing, but I remember getting on the phone and saying exactly that. I'm about to go make $1 million. Are you coming with me or not? I sent a text message to 5 people, because I knew with the chart that I had to have 5 people to go to the top. And I just assumed all of them were going to say yes, and all of them were going to want to go ambassador like I did. And so I text 5 people thinking that's all I would need, right? And so I text 5 people, 3 never even responded. And then 1 picked up the phone and called me and said, what are you doing? And another one said that she would meet me the next day. And so they both wanted to know on the phone. And I was like, I can't even talk about it on the phone. I'm too excited. The truth was I had no clue what the crap I was doing, right? Because I just started and was like, I'm only on day 7. I've barely been listening up till this point. But you guys, that passion and that excitement was there, and I just knew I had my hands on something special. And so it didn't matter what I knew, it mattered that I was excited. And I picked things up along the way. I really did. Obviously picked it up along the way. But yes, I did. I promoted really, really fast, and I went ambassador in 7 months. So that green carpet Alicia was talking about where we met was that next year, and I had just gone ambassador, and I had just met everybody at corporate, and it was crazy to, you know, meet Mark Pentecost, and here he had just paid me this above average ambassador check. And he said, I'll never forget, he said, well, I've never written somebody a check that big that I've never met face to face. That's pretty crazy. And I don't know that he thought I'd stay. I don't know that I thought I would stay, to be honest. It was all very new and so fast, and it all felt like since I didn't grow organically and slowly and consistently, everything was just, it was seriously felt like overnight. It was just overnight. Our whole lives changed. You know, your first check's 400, your 7th check is as much as your husband used to make in a year, you know, and you're making it in 1 month. So everything really like was very quick and a big mind trip. But I will say this, I still, right after ambassador is whenever I started fighting the same battles that Alicia was talking about, those ones where you get in your head, where you go, you know, that was when we went through the wrap shortage. We couldn't get our hands on wraps. And I remember thinking things like, oh, the company's going to fail. We went through a website change, and you couldn't even like enroll people for a while. Remember, it was like, oh, I've got these loyals, but oh, I can't put them in. And customer service, you'd wait on hold for like an hour, hour and a half. I mean, you guys, we went through some of these crazy growing pains with the company, and you have to realize that the kind of doubt that set in, feeling like I'd led my friends and my family and my business colleagues into this business that I didn't know if it was really going to be there for me. And, you know, I remember being at green carpet, and I remember talking to Pam, and I was such a smart aleck. I still, actually, why did I say I was? I still am, but I was very much a smart aleck to her that day. And I just remember asking her in this tent, it was out on the golf course, and I said, well, I have some questions, because what is to stop you guys from, you know, going public? What's to stop you guys from, you know, making the company public, I mean, and like selling shares and stuff? What's to stop you guys from getting a celebrity endorser? What's to stop you from going on HSN or QVC? This is the perfect kind of product for that. Like, what's to stop you guys from doing those things? And then you're going to be taking business out of my pocket. And like, I didn't feel like I could trust the company. I know that sounds crazy because of the money I was making, but you have to realize, like I said, $400 to this insane amount in a 6-month period was just nuts. And right. So, I'll never forget what she said. She turned me around and she said, Ashley, I want you to take a look at all these people that are out here. She said, Mark and I are going to be fine. We have the biggest vision and the biggest, the biggest goals for this company that you could ever imagine. And we don't do this just for us. We do this for all these people because we want as many millionaires in this company as possible. And mark my words, if you will stay the course and keep doing what you're doing, you will be a millionaire in this company. Do you believe me? And I mean, I just remember my jaw was on the floor, and I was like, okay, yeah, I do. Let's do this. I can do this. And so y'all, I don't know what to tell you, except I just kept going to work. And not that I haven't had bad times or bad months or bad, you know, sorry, my phone's going nuts, or that I haven't had, you know, a rough month or a slow period here and there, or, you know, times when I've gotten in my head. But I'm going to be honest and just tell you that for the most part, I really feel like what Alicia said, yes, success loves speed, but then once you hit the top, like, you got to keep going. And for me, this business is so much about consistency and day in and day out doing the things that make me money, which are putting loyal customers in the computer, putting distributors in the computer. And then the only other thing I would maybe even add as a little asterisk is, once you get to a point where you've got a large team, you do have to spend some time encouraging and being a cheerleader. But seriously, y'all, other than that, like, we don't get paid to do much else except put loyals in the computer, put distributors in the computer, and then teach those distributors to put loyals and distributors in the computer, and repeat. And when that clicked with me, that's whenever I knew that I wasn't just going to be a millionaire, but I was going to make 10 million and 20 million, and I'll make $50 million in this company. I have no doubt, because I continue to do the things that are the things that set you up for success, which are put loyals in the computer, put distributors in the computer. And when you get away from that, I feel like that's when your business starts to flounder. That's when you start getting in your own head, you know, is whenever you start pulling away from the simplicity of this business. And so I just wrapped up like 38 business tips in that moment. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry about that. So let's just, so there's my story. You were probably about to ask me a question. I don't know. Or
I do want to ask you something, because I like that you touched base on this. I think a big part of our success, and a lot of, ambassador success, is knowing the heart of corporate and really getting to know them. And the only way to really do that, I feel like, is by getting to events and getting to that green carpet, that first green carpet that you went to. Right then and there, talking to Pam, I think you knew immediately, like, they have our backs. They want so many of us to succeed. And I think that's just so important. And I mean, would you not agree that that's really why you are where you are?
Oh, absolutely. Well, and not just that, but that's where my husband got on board. You know, Dan went with me, and you guys have to realize that I got my first ambassador check and I showed it to Danny. And of course I'm like bawling my eyes out, right? I'm like, this cannot be real life. I thought they're going to take it away. There's no way that this is legit. They're going to be like, just kidding. We reversed those numbers, you know, whatever. So there's not supposed to be a comma in there. There's not 2 digits to the left of that comma. And that day he goes, this is seriously his reaction. He goes, wow, babe, that's great. I guess I'll try a wrap if you want me to. So, I mean, he was just, it's not that he was telling me I couldn't do it and that he didn't believe in me. It was, he just didn't believe in it for himself. And going to that event, I remember him talking to Cindy Pentecost for like 30 minutes under that tent, and her telling him these just like the history of the company and the stories and about how up till 18 months before that, she was the shipping department for the whole company. Like her and Kyler would like be the ones stuffing the boxes on the table. I mean, she was like, we didn't even have we had like these folding tables we had boxes on, and it'd be like somebody would run an order into us kind of thing. Like, it was just the craziest thing. And I think hearing all of that, it really, it helps solidify things with Danny. Like, wait a minute, this company's legit. They've got our back. They built this company the way that Danny's parents built their company, the way that I built mine. I mean, you know, in my bedroom, like in a guest bedroom, like inventory by inventory and order by order. And he watched, I think he saw that and he went, hey, okay, there's something to this company. They're doing it right. And then knowing that they were debt free, but more than that, you guys, people will say, well, I just can't afford to get to that event. And I tell them, you cannot afford to not go to that event. And I mean that. I don't say that lightly. I watch events change people. You know, you've heard me say it. You've heard even Alicia say it. You'll hear hundreds of other top leaders tell you something that one person said, or it may not have even been something that somebody said, but don't you feel like so many people have, Alicia, like they have this, it sounds so cheesy, I know, but almost like a feeling at conference where they go, it's like they have this aha moment of, I can do this. Like, why am I holding myself back? I mean, tell me how 3 girls within the span of 10 minutes on a boat all text me and said, what am I doing? I can be presidential. And they're sitting out with a bucket of beer, like on a cruise ship in a lounge chair. Like that was their aha moment, you know. There is something about being around that many like-minded people.
It is. It's the feeling that you get, and it's not necessarily what they said or the tip that they gave. It's how they made you feel. That made you feel like you could do it too. So I just agree. It's so important. I do want to touch base on one other thing on your story. I said earlier, success loves speed, and we've said it numerous times. Like, you need to work this. Everybody needs to work this business with a sense of urgency. There's so many different avenues in which we can work this business. You know, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's parties, there's blitzing. There's so many different avenues in which we could really, really work this business. What do you feel like what is your avenue? Like, did you message a bunch of people? Were you posting on Facebook? Like, what was your avenue that was your go-to?
Yeah, honestly, it was everything. So my house was kind of a revolving door of, I wouldn't call them wrap parties because that just seemed so cheesy to me. So I remember telling Tiff, like, if I have to do wrap parties, I'm not doing this business. Like, I already have this store that I pay almost $4,000 a month to rent. Okay. I'm not going to like then have random people in my home. Little did I know. Right. So then what I would find happen is I would tell people about this or talk to friends and family about it. They would say, well, I want to try it. And I would go, okay, well, come over at 6 or come over at 10, or I'd give them 2 times or 3 times and say, come over. So I had a ton of mini wrap parties. And while they would have the wrap on, here I am going over the product catalog. We didn't have the party pad at the time, but we were going over the steps to success with them and then going over some of the other products and saying, you know, my line since the first month probably I started was, so do you just want to try this product or do you want to make money while you try the product? Which one's better for you? You know, and that it was like, there's no third option. These are what you get to do. You're either going to try the products as a loyal customer, or you're going to make money and get the same prices that loyal customers do. Which one do you want to do? And so I think when giving people those 2 choices, a lot of people made those choices. So I would say, I mean, I had a lot of people over to the house. I did a lot of phone calls. I did a lot of Starbucks meetings. I did a lot of Facebook messaging. Facebook is amazing to be able just to message and connect with you know, connect with people. I posted consistently, you know, Instagram, if it was a thing back then, I didn't even know what it was. Yeah, so mine was, and I was blitzing and I didn't know it. You know, I was passing out cards and I don't think I realized that I was blitzing, but I was putting cards everywhere around town. So yeah, I was doing a little bit of all of it, and that hasn't changed. You know, the times when I'm the least happy. Can you hear an echo?
A little bit now.
Darn, what happened? Dang. Okay, well, we'll start up in a minute because I can hear it pretty bad now. Okay, y'all pray for me. My ADD is about to kick in something crazy. So, crap, where was I? See? Oh, I'm doing the same things now. You know, I really am. I'm doing the same things now. And the times whenever I'm the least happy in my business and I feel the least productive are when I'm stuck behind a computer screen. And so I would very much encourage people, if you feel like you're in a funk, the first things I do whenever somebody tells me that they're in a funk is, when's the last time you talked to somebody? When is the last time you physically put a wrap on someone? There's something magical about having an appointment at Starbucks or at McDonald's or at Chick-fil-A with a mom friend or wherever, having somebody over and putting the wrap on somebody, or getting that product catalog out and talking about the products with people, getting that party pet out. That rejuvenates me, it re-energizes me. And I can always go back when I'm in a funk and pinpoint that it's usually been 2, 3, 4 weeks since the last time I've been face to face. Because when all it is messaging, and when all it is, you guys, it doesn't give you that same feeling as it does whenever you're face to face with people. And so I'm not saying that you can't build your business on social media. Obviously I do. I'm saying, got to get on the phone, got to get in front of people as much as you can too, because that is going to help you build your business. And I think it's a huge area that a lot of people leave out. We assume everybody's on Facebook. They're not. They are not. I cannot believe how many people I've asked them, you know, hey, let me add you on Facebook. Oh, I'm not on Facebook. Like, who is not on? I mean, to me, that's just because I run my whole life on Facebook. Are you serious? But there's a lot of people that don't, you guys. And so getting out and meeting people and talking to them is huge. So there you go. Well, I know we had said we didn't want this to run long, and look where we are right now. Okay, so really quick, 2 quick things, Alicia. I am excited about Christmas Cash. I want to touch on that really quick. So right now for this month, the month of November, and it started November 1st, goes till midnight on the 30th. If you sign up 4 loyal customers, which is step 2 of steps to success, right? But if you sign up 4 loyal customers, you get $100 cash. Insane to me that the company does this stuff. I mean, I heard it and I went, like, how seriously, like, how great is this company that we are getting paid a bonus to do our job, right? Like, our job is to put 4 loyals in the computer every month so that we get our commission, and here they are giving us a bonus for that. It's unreal to me. So I never want to leave money on the table. I know I've been through so many little bonuses and incentives that they do. Our company's so great to do that for us. So, you know, you've been you're in 5.5 years at this point. Yeah. So what is a tip? What is something that you were still doing to pull loyals in, you know, 5 years later? Because obviously our warm markets have shifted a little bit. Maybe we've talked to a lot of them, so we have to continue to add to it, right? But what are you doing to still pull in loyals and to get your Christmas cash?
I'm so glad that you asked that, because it is, you know, so many people are like, well, I don't have that big of a warm market. My friends and family aren't going to do this and whatnot. But we do. We run out of that warm market, and we run out of it rather quickly. So for me to pull in those loyals is I am constantly trying to bring in new people into my network every single day. And with 3 kids now, I am doing a lot of it on Facebook. I'm doing a lot on social media to be able to do that. So just constantly getting out in groups and going out there and trying to friend people and bring them over and really go for the pull, you know, really pull them in with what I'm posting and being consistent every single day. So just trying to just get as many people over as I can.
And I love that, because that's your reality right now. And it's an amazing thing that you can be rocking that sweet baby girl all day and be working from your phone. It's insane, you know, and that's a gift to be able to have that, you guys. It's a gift to be able to have that. So again, yeah, there's times whenever social media is just rocking and working for you. And that is exactly where you need to be. If it's not right now, be consistent, because it does take consistency, but then get out in front of some people if you're feeling like you're hitting a wall there, for sure. So one of my tips for pulling in loyals that I've been doing lately has been referrals. So I have been spending a lot of time going through and really, really taking care of my loyals especially within the past, I would say like 5 to 6 months. Handwritten notes, you know, it takes some time, but thanking them for their business, telling them that if they can ever think of anybody that would love the products, that I would love to help take care of them, putting a new product catalog in the mail when we get a new product. But asking for those referrals has been big. And then I've also done a few online parties where I have asked loyals like, hey, will you, I don't even ask if they'll host an online party for me, because even that kind of makes it, I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't, you know, you just don't want to ask people to do things a lot of times. So the way I've been wording it is, hey, if I were to set up a whole party, and would you be interested in inviting any of your friends that you think might want to check out the wraps or the gel, you know, and I'll just send them a couple of things, or maybe the hair, skin, and nails, or whatever product they're interested in. If so, I would be happy to send you, you know, a free wrap for anybody that signs up as a loyal with me. And that's been working well. And so I'll do that with several loyals and ask, and then I'll have an online party with their friends too. Plus, you guys, it's a great way to meet new people, because then even if they only invite one person, now I usually go back and try to friend that person. And so I've gotten people, maybe it didn't happen at the party, but it happens later because they continue to watch. So that's something that I've been doing. Obviously, that's not the only thing, but that's just one tip that's been helping me lately with referrals too. So
one other thing I want to add, because we kind of go into bringing in those people from the cold market. And like you said, doing those online parties are super beneficial for me and for a lot of people. But another thing that I do is whenever I'm messaging them, say they didn't sign up on that online party, or they're showing interest and they're liking and commenting on a post or whatnot, when I'm messaging them, I'm not typing it out, but I'm sending voice messages.
Yeah.
I know that they're talking to a real person. I want them to hear my excitement whenever they're listening to it versus reading it, because really you can only put so many exclamation points in a paragraph.
Right.
They can't hear your excitement.
Right. There's only so many emojis, that we can do before we start looking like we have something a little loose up here, I think. So I'm totally with you. Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. I even have like a short little video that I've texted people before too. So anyway, just whatever you can do to be personal and again, that's another way to be in front of people without standing face to face with people. So, all right, girl, let's wrap this up. Wrap it up. But it never gets old to me that I say that. What is I know we talked about consistency. Besides that, what's your number one business tip?
Okay. Obviously my go-to is always don't give up, but I'm not going to say that because I talked about it. You know, you're going to succeed as long as you don't give up. But here's another thing that I truly, truly believe in. And I believe that if you are excited, if you are passionate, when you're talking to somebody, they're going to feel that, and they're going to buy you. You know, they're going to buy that excitement. They're not buying the product, they're buying you. So be excited and be passionate and let them hear that in your voice when you're talking to them, because that's all it's going to take.
I love that. Yes, I am 100% in agreement with what is it? I always mess this quote up, but isn't it something like, Here I go. I'm going to mess it up. I did this at the last training too, but it's something about like the knowledge on ice. What is it?
Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice.
Ignorance on fire. I always forget the first part. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. And that's the truth. So you could know everything, but if I'm telling you, it's my new people that are like, I told her that she's supposed to, I told her that she's supposed to drink the defining gel and then like put the Profen on her stomach and wrap it up. Is that right? Like, I'm just so excited. And she said she'd do it. Like, those are the people that end up doing the best, right? Than the ones that have it like all figured out. So, yeah. And then my last tip I would leave you guys with is that, is to plant your flag. And I realize that for some of y'all, you're so brand new. You're like, well, what does that even mean? But, when you make a choice and you make a decision and giving up is not on the table, when that happens, your brain is going to unlock ways to find ways to make this business work. And I think, but it has to start with giving up off the table, with planting that flag and saying, this is where I'm at and I'm not going anywhere and this is what I'm doing. And so I will figure this out, because I guarantee you are in the right company at the right place at the right time. And this is one of those things that you're going to look up in 5 years and 10 years and you're going to regret not working your business at this time. You will. You need to trust me on that. And so if you will take giving up off the table and say, this is not even something I'm considering, then your brain will figure out ways to make this business work for you. I've said it before, it's kind of like with my husband and I just we don't even say the D word. We don't even talk about it. It's not even an option. It's not even a thing that we let come into our marriage, because if that ever seems to be an option for one of us, then guess what? Your brain doesn't figure out ways to continue to make your marriage better and make it work. And so it's the same thing in this business. And I've made a commitment to this business in that same regard. And so we just want to thank you guys for your time and for joining us. We don't want to take up too much more because you could be signing up loyals right now. I know I've got somebody texting me that said all I saw was interested in joining. So I'm like, what is it? What are we going to talk right now? So thank you guys for your time. We appreciate you, and we'll post this recording as soon as we can. Okay. So thank you, Alicia, for your time and your sweet baby.
No, thank you, Ashley. You did awesome. I loved it. And thanks everybody for hopping on tonight.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Bye.